Tonight, we will look at dogs in a slow and factual way, not as characters in a story and not as symbols of loyalty or comfort, but as animals with a long biological history, a particular body structure, a sensitive nervous system, and a close relationship with human beings. Dogs are one of the most familiar animals in the world. They live in homes, farms, cities, villages, cold regions, warm regions, quiet households, busy streets, and working environments. Because they are so familiar, it is easy to stop noticing how interesting they are as animals. A dog is a domesticated mammal. More specifically, the domestic dog belongs to the species Canis familiaris, or in some classifications, Canis lupus familiaris, which places it as a domesticated form related to the gray wolf. The exact history of dog domestication is still studied and debated, but most scientists agree that dogs were the first animals domesticated by humans. This means the relationship between humans and dogs is older than agriculture, older than cities, and older than written history. Long before people built permanent settlements, dogs or early dog-like animals were already living near human groups. They may have first been attracted to food scraps around human camps. Over time, animals that were less fearful and more tolerant of humans may have had an advantage in that environment. Domestication was not a single event that happened all at once. It was a long process. It likely involved both natural selection and human preference. Animals that could live near people, read human behavior, and cooperate in simple ways were more likely to survive and reproduce. Later, humans began selecting dogs more deliberately for guarding, hunting, herding, pulling, companionship, and other tasks. One of the most important facts about dogs is that they are highly social animals. Their wild relatives, such as wolves, live in social groups, and domestic dogs have inherited many social tendencies. However, dogs are not simply wolves living in houses. Domestication changed their behavior, appearance, development, and ability to interact with humans. Dogs are especially skilled at reading human signals. Many dogs can follow pointing gestures, notice body posture, respond to tone of voice, and learn routines through repetition. They may not understand human language in the same way a person does, but they can associate sounds, gestures, facial expressions, and situations with outcomes. A dog's sense of smell is one of its most developed senses. The canine nose contains far more scent receptors than the human nose. The exact number varies by breed and individual, but in general, dogs are much better than humans at detecting and distinguishing odors. This is why dogs can be trained to find people, detect certain substances, follow scent trails, and identify changes in the environment that humans would never notice. Smell is not just a useful tool for dogs. It is one of their main ways of understanding the world. When a dog sniffs a tree, a patch of grass, a doorway, or another dog, it is gathering information. Scent can carry details about other animals, food, territory, stress, health, and recent activity. To a dog, a familiar street is not just a visual place. It is also a detailed scent landscape. Dogs also have a special structure called the vomeronasal organ, sometimes called Jacobson's organ. This organ helps detect certain chemical signals, especially those related to other animals. It is part of the broader chemical sensing system that many mammals use. Dogs do not experience the world only through sight and sound. Their world is deeply chemical. Hearing is another important sense in dogs. Dogs can hear higher frequency sounds than humans can. This means they may respond to noises that people do not notice at all. A distant sound, a small movement, An electronic noise or a high-pitched signal may be more obvious to a dog than to a person in the same room. Their ears are also highly mobile, especially in breeds with upright or semi-upright ears. Dogs can move their ears to help locate sounds. Even dogs with floppy ears still use hearing as a major source of information. Sudden noises may startle them not because they are being dramatic, but because their auditory system is sensitive. A dog's vision is different from human vision. Dogs do not see the full range of colors that humans see. They are often described as having a form of dichromatic vision, meaning they distinguish some colors but not others. They are better at seeing blues and yellows than reds and greens. Their vision is also adapted for detecting motion, especially in lower light. This is useful when thinking about how dogs notice the world. A dog may not see a colorful object the way a person does, but it may notice movement very quickly. This reflects the evolutionary importance of tracking motion in animals that hunt, follow, escape, and interact with moving bodies. The body of a dog is built for movement. Even small companion breeds share the same basic mammalian structure: a flexible spine, 4 limbs, paws, muscles, tendons, joints, and a skull adapted for biting, smelling, and hearing. Different breeds vary greatly in size and shape, but the underlying body plan remains recognizably canine. Dogs walk on their toes. This is called digitigrade locomotion. Humans walk with the heel and the sole of the foot on the ground, but dogs move with the toes bearing much of the weight. This body structure helps with running, turning, and moving efficiently. The pads on a dog's paws provide cushioning and traction. They also contain sweat glands, although dogs do not cool themselves mainly through sweating as humans do. Dogs regulate body temperature mostly through panting and through heat exchange from areas such as the mouth, tongue, and respiratory tract. Panting is not simply a sign that a dog is tired. It is a cooling mechanism. When a dog pants, moisture evaporates from the tongue and the surfaces of the mouth and upper respiratory tract. This helps release heat. Because dogs have fur and relatively limited sweating compared with humans, panting is important for thermoregulation. A dog's tail is part of its body language, but tail movement is often misunderstood. A wagging tail does not always mean happiness. Tail position, speed, stiffness, direction, and the rest of the body posture all matter. A relaxed dog may wag loosely. An alert or uncertain dog may hold the tail differently. A frightened dog may tuck the tail. Communication in dogs is always a combination of signals, not one single movement. Dogs communicate through posture, facial expression, ear position, tail position, vocal sounds, movement, and scent. Barking is only one part of their communication. Dogs may also whine, growl, howl, sigh, grunt, or remain silent. A growl is not always aggression in a simple sense. It can be a warning, a signal of discomfort, or part of play, depending on context. Play is an important part of dog behavior. Puppies play to practice movement, biting control, social interaction, chasing, wrestling, and coordination. Adult dogs may continue to play throughout life, especially in domestic environments. Play helps maintain social bonds and provides mental and physical activity. One of the most recognizable dog behaviors is the play bow. In this posture, the front legs are lowered while the rear part of the body remains raised. This often signals that the following action should be understood as play rather than conflict. It is a useful example of how dogs communicate intention through body posture. Dogs sleep for a large part of the day, though the amount varies with age, breed, activity level, health, and environment. Puppies and older dogs often sleep more than healthy young adult dogs. Unlike humans, dogs often sleep in several shorter periods across the day and night, rather than in one long, continuous block. Dogs also have sleep stages. Like humans and other mammals, they experience periods of non-REM sleep and REM sleep. During REM sleep, the brain is active and dreaming may occur. This is why a sleeping dog may twitch, move its paws, make quiet sounds, or shift its breathing. It is not necessary to interpret every movement, but these behaviors are commonly associated with normal sleep activity. A dog's sense of routine is also important. Dogs often learn the pattern of a household. When people wake up, when food is given, when walks occur, when visitors arrive, and when the environment becomes quiet. They may respond not only to clocks, but to repeated cues: shoes being picked up, keys moving, a certain door opening, a person sitting in a familiar place. Learning in dogs is often based on association. If a sound, object, or action regularly predicts something meaningful, the dog may begin to respond to it. This is why dogs may become excited when they hear a food container, a leash, or a car door. The object itself is not magical to the dog. It has simply become connected with a predictable outcome. Dogs are also sensitive to human attention. Many dogs notice where people are looking, whether a person is facing them, whether a hand is reaching, or whether a voice is calm or sharp. This sensitivity is one reason dogs are able to live closely with humans. They adapt to human behavior in a way that many other animals do not. At the same time, dogs are not small humans. They do not interpret the world through human categories. Their behavior is shaped by scent, movement, habit, body language, learning history, and species-specific needs. Understanding dogs accurately means respecting both their closeness to humans and their difference from humans. The variety among dog breeds is unusually large. Domestic dogs range from very small toy breeds to very large working breeds. Their skulls, legs, coats, ears, tails, and body proportions can differ greatly. This variation is the result of selective breeding by humans over many generations. Some breeds were selected for herding, others for guarding, retrieving, pulling, scent work, companionship, or appearance. Breed can influence behavior, but it does not determine everything. Individual experience, training, socialization, health, age, environment, and personality also matter. Two dogs of the same breed can behave differently. Two dogs of different breeds can share many traits. Biology gives tendencies, not a complete script. Dogs have different coat types because of genetics and adaptation. Some have thick double coats with a dense undercoat and longer guard hairs. Others have short coats, curly coats, wiry coats, or very fine hair. Coat type affects grooming needs, heat tolerance, cold tolerance, and shedding. Fur is not only decorative, it is part of temperature regulation and protection. The whiskers of a dog, also called vibrissae, are sensitive tactile hairs. They help detect nearby objects, air movement, and contact around the face. Whiskers are connected to nerves and should be understood as sensory structures, not ordinary hairs. A dog's nose is often wet because of mucus and licking. Moisture can help trap scent particles, and licking can bring chemical information into the mouth area. A wet or dry nose alone is not a reliable measure of health, but the nose is clearly central to how a dog explores the world. Puppies are born relatively helpless. Their eyes and ears are closed at birth, and they depend on their mother for warmth, food, and care. As they develop, their senses open, their movement improves, and they begin to explore. Early social experiences can influence later behavior, which is why early development is important in domestic dogs. Dogs also show attachment behavior. Many dogs form strong bonds with familiar humans. They may seek contact, follow household members, respond to separation, and show preference for people they know. This attachment is one of the reasons dogs have become such common companion animals. However, attachment is not only emotional from the human side. It is also behavioral and biological. A familiar person can become a source of safety, food, routine, social contact, and predictable signals. For the dog, the relationship is part of its environment. Aging in dogs varies by size and breed. In general, smaller dogs often live longer than larger dogs, though there are exceptions. Aging may affect mobility, hearing, vision, sleep, energy level, and behavior. Older dogs may become slower, more routine-based, and more sensitive to changes in their environment. Dogs have lived with humans for thousands of years, but they still remain animals with their own sensory world. They do not simply occupy human homes. They perceive them through smell, sound, movement, pattern, warmth, and social contact. A room that seems quiet to a person may still contain many details for a dog. A faint sound outside, a scent on a shoe, the movement of air under a door, the familiar rhythm of a person breathing, the smell of food that was prepared earlier, the place where sunlight warmed the floor during the day. This is part of what makes dogs interesting to study calmly. They live near us, but not exactly like us. They share our spaces, but interpret those spaces differently. They respond to us, but through canine senses and canine behavior. So, when we think about dogs in a factual way, we can see several main ideas. Dogs are domesticated mammals closely related to wolves. They are social animals. They are highly sensitive to smell. They hear sounds beyond the normal human range. They read human signals unusually well. They communicate through posture, movement, sound, and scent. They sleep in repeated periods and experience recognizable sleep stages. They learn through association, routine, and interaction. They vary greatly in body shape because of human selection. And they remain, beneath all this variation, animals shaped by biology, development, and environment. A dog resting in a room may seem simple. It may be lying on a floor, breathing slowly, occasionally moving an ear or opening its eyes. But even at rest, its body is maintaining temperature, processing sounds, holding memories of routine, sensing familiar smells, and remaining aware of the social space around it. The life of a dog is built from many ordinary processes: eating, sleeping, moving, sniffing, listening, following, learning, playing, resting, watching, returning to familiar people and familiar places. These processes are simple, but they are not meaningless. They are the basic structure of canine life. To understand dogs well, it is useful to keep the explanation calm and concrete. A dog is not only a pet, and not only a working animal, and not only a companion. It is a mammal with a long history of domestication, a powerful sense of smell, a social mind, a flexible body, and a strong ability to live alongside humans. That is the quiet scientific view of dogs. Not exaggerated, not sentimental, just biological, behavioral, and familiar. An animal close to humans, but still its own kind of animal. A species shaped by movement, scent, sleep, attention, routine, and thousands of years of life beside people.